Ah, that fucked it. 3, 2, 1. I'm frustrated as fuck this time. So what I did was I contacted Juiced about the piss poor brakes. And then his reply is, oh, well, that's normal. Basically is what he said. And he sends me a video from Park Tool on how to clean the pistons and lube them. I'm thinking, oh, that's a crock of shit. But I looked at the video. Park Tool's videos had a good explanation on why and how the pistons actually work. So if you're not 100% sure, I'll have that link in the description up above, down below, depending on where you are. But I'm gonna see if I can clean it. It's really a piss poor excuse, but it is what it is. And when you don't buy a bike locally, you can't walk a bike back into the store and have them fix it under warranty. We all knew that when we bought a China bike, company based in China with an office in San Diego. Tora Harris lives in China. I really wish I had not bought this bike. So what they're saying is to compress the pads and to get a Q-tip and to clean inside there. So they are showing using mineral oil, and they're showing that mainly because the mineral oil is what's on the other side of this. But mineral oil is not a cleaner. While we compress that outer piston to make it come out. And I want it to come out even more than that. I'm going to use Liquid Wrench Super Lubricant. Stops leaks, loosens rusted parts, displaces moistures, and inhibits corrosion. That's what I'm going to put on there. And then they're saying to, use a Q-tip and all that stuff on there. And another video that I saw online said to do this 12 times. That's bullshit on a brand new bike. I mean, come on, people. I mean, if it's going to help or work, I'm willing. As you can see, I'm willing to try anything. Okay. Outside compresses. The inside is completely stuck now. Completely. There we go. That goes back in. Now they're both in. As you can see, the outer one moves, the other one does not. So we're going to keep doing this. I don't know why I'm keep doing this, because I've done this enough in all my other videos that you know. I mean, that thing's just fucking all cattywampus. Pistons out pretty much all the way. Or if you ride it and use your brakes, you're going to be putting dust and debris on here. If these brakes are that bad that you got to clean this shit this frequently, then it's a piece of shit Tektro. fucked it. All right, so that's what happens when you push the piston out too far. Now I've got hydraulic fluid that has drained through here, and I am totally fucked. Oh, look at that, I got that the first time. I'm gonna take the, oops, maybe I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I can take that apart because that's cross-threaded on there. Let's take the two halves apart. Okay, the halves are apart. Here's the piston that came out. That goes back in there, but we're gonna take some of that oil, mineral oil, and wipe it around that little ring there and push the piston back in. So you can see right here where that O-ring is. The hydraulic fluid comes in on the other side, pushes on that, and then there's the tiniest little hole there. That hole is going to line up with this hole right there to push out on this side. And when I push on there, you can see a little hydraulic fluid coming out of that mineral oil fluid. I was not really wanting that to happen, and I knew better. I just went a little bit too far. I've got to keep that loose because I can't center it until I compress it, and I can't compress it till I bleed it. And we'll go running around to the stores to find a bleed kit. Fuck. All right, you are gonna think I'm totally crazy, but I think there's a design flaw in this caliper. So here we are. So follow me out on this real quick. This is your hydraulic line coming in from the brake lever up above. It comes in and it pushes on the piston. This right here is the piston. Now you've already seen what the piston looks like because I've had them completely out. This is your pad in the middle, and this line in the middle is your rotor. So I'm going to draw the fluid. Here's the hydraulic fluid being pumped from the lever. It comes down the hydraulic line and it enters this cavity behind the piston. And it is pushing the piston, which is attached to the pad or on the pad, to the rotor. In the perfect world, that would push and the pressure would be equal behind there and across this little skinny line. That's the one I showed you with the O-ring and that little itty bitty tiny hole. That goes across the caliper into another big void that's the size of the piston behind here. So that's the route of the fluid. So what's happening is you're pushing the brake lever and it's got to fill this void up, the volume, the cubic volume of that to push the piston that way. And it's a law of physics, liquid flows to the place of least resistance. This has got a big old hole here. This is going to fill up all that and push that way before the pressure builds up in this little skinny line to come over here. And then even with that little skinny line, once the fluid gets out of that little skinny hole and into the void behind that piston, the pressure over there is going to be so low. By then, this piston has already moved that far. Does that make sense to you? But it makes sense to me. That's why you're seeing this piston move so much. When that piston moves and this is barely moving, it causes that rotor to flex and bend off a center, which causes the pad wear over here to wear unevenly, and this to warp over, and that's your noise. That's that harmonic that all these juice bikes have on their front brakes when they're coming to a stop. And then this right here is where the bleed screw is. I think that is our problem. I think it's a design problem. I don't care how clean these are, how dirty they are. I just think it's a pressure thing. But I've got a bleed kit coming tomorrow on Amazon and hydraulic fluid. So I'm going to get this put back together, and we'll see what's happening, but I'm not expecting anything. I've got saved in my shopping cart some Magura 5Es for the front. They're $132, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on them and go ahead and get them on now. I was going to wait to do it this winter when I put ape hangers on it. All right, let me know what you think of this. Do you think I'm onto something the way the caliper is designed from what I've shown you inside the caliper? All right, man. See ya.